Erie Bayhawks GM Matt Bresee. Matt, you talk about this being an interesting couple of weeks, but I'm looking at the future of the NBDL. It looks really bright. I'm not a lawyer, and this would definitely be more in your wheelhouse, but it looks like from the details of the collective bargaining agreement, the NBDL got a lot stronger, and their affiliation sort of, it looks like the NBA is really more committed to using the NBDL more regularly.
No question, and glad you raised that, because it's something that we have for a while been rumblings in the NBA circles of, with this new collective bargaining agreement, essentially after they got past the major sticking points, which is what we all heard about, in the news for the last several months. Once they got past that there was certainly going to be some benefit for the development league, and it certainly appears that way. And to give you an example, what we're looking at is greater opportunities for NBA players to be assigned to the development league, loosening some of the restrictions that were in place previously. Quite frankly, I think it was looked upon, during the previous CBA that, the development league might be somewhat of a demotion. So you can only, be sent down up to 3 times. There has to be restrictions on as to how many years you've been in, the league. You can't go down after you've been in for more than 2 years. It looks like those things are going to be loosened, because what's happening is, fortunately for us, NBA coaches, general managers are really seeing the value of a pure minor league system in which they can use this league. Every year the talent gets better and better, the coaching talent gets better and better, and therefore the NBA becomes more and more comfortable with bringing NBA guys down and putting them in an environment like this, and really getting a good test, and therefore being what we're really here for, and that's the development of young players.
Our producer, Cody Slaybaugh, has a couple questions for you.
Matt,
Yeah.
one thing I was curious, actually, you just brought up a really good point. With the NBA maybe looking to use you guys more as an official minor league, do you think we'll see more players doing possibly rehab, professional guys from the NBA coming down doing maybe rehab stints, recovering from injuries in the NBDL, and possibly also seeing teams maybe draft players that they don't think are quite ready and sending them down to NBDL to really develop and possibly bring them up at later times?
Yeah, I think the one thing that potentially will have the greatest impact is the opportunity for a two-way contract, and that's what they're looking at now in terms of the ability to, like you said, maybe draft a guy that you pretty much know, hey, maybe he doesn't fit in your current scheme. Maybe you've got a veteran point guard and you want to try to develop a young point guard behind him, would give the NBA team maybe the ability to sign that guy, put him on their NBA roster, but as a two-way contract, they have the ability to send them to the development league, pay them better than what they would be as just a development league player, pay them less as what they might be as an NBA player, but have the ability to, in our situation especially, with a single affiliate, control the environment in which that player lives and works out and develops in, knowing the system he's going to run and things like that. So we're certainly optimistic that we're going to see some of that. In terms of the rehab assignments, I've talked to NBA people who are on both sides of the fence there. I've talked to some that are very reluctant. They say it's not like baseball, and the basketball is more of a contact sport. You've got a guy recovering from a knee or something, and he's a big man, and he's playing down low. And there's somebody on the other team that wants to prove that they're an NBA, caliber player. It could get chippy, and there might be something more to it in terms of putting that player in an environment like this. However, on the other hand, I've talked to others that say, depending on the situation, a guy's got an ACL, this is an entire year at the NBA, having reps down here could do him very well. So what it sounds like, that might be a case-to-case basis, or, organizations might look at it differently depending on the personnel.
Yeah, I gotcha. And my final question is, I see that next week on your schedule you will be facing up against the Canton Charge, and I'm curious as to how exciting it is for the Bayhawks really to have a regional rivalry that might be able to start up now with Akron only being a couple hours away from Erie.
Yeah, it's going to be fun on a couple levels. We're excited about having the Cavaliers, in the development league, to have the Cleveland Cavaliers own and operate a team in our league is a feather in our cap, quite frankly. I mean, it's going to make the league better. It's going to make the league stronger. It's fun for us in the front office because we worked so closely with them the last few years. There's a natural rivalry right there already. And certainly a bus trip 2 hours away is much nicer than a flight to Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is where they relocated the franchise from. But really, for the fans too, we know that there were even a couple of fans of ours that went to Canton's opening night game last Friday just out of curiosity to see what another NBA Development League game was like. But when we match up, we know for sure that fans are going to be making that trip. So it should be fun. It should be interesting, and we're really looking forward to next Friday as well.
Matt Bresee, General Manager, Erie Bayhawks. And I got to ask you before I let you go, tell the folks, tonight's the big home opener. I already looked, so I'm cheating, but tell them a little bit about what you got for your halftime show and some of the entertainment.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we have the typical fanfare of opening nights. We've got our general manager and the New York Knicks assistant general manager, Alan Houston, will be in the house. He's here already today. Dan Reed, the league president. So that kind of stuff, those kinds of people that come in the building on a night like tonight makes it special. But yeah, halftime is going to be a lot of fun to families, kids, all that. We'll really get a kick out of the entertainer we've brought in. She goes by the name of Red Panda. I can assure you the name will mislead you. But she's a pretty talented acrobat who has literally traveled the world doing the show, and a lot of basketball, NBA teams she's performed for, making her first trip to Erie, so we're really excited about having her in. In addition to throughout the game, we've got a couple of other surprises and new wrinkles for our fans. So, like I said, we're excited about the basketball. Fortunate to have Coach Larinaga and all these guys ready to go tonight. At the same time, it's minor league sports, and we're big believers in having fun with the product too, and we're going to certainly do that tonight.
Matt, I'm sorry I called you GM. I know you're the president, but you're also
No
a
worries.
member. You're also a member of the fine Erie Bayhawks. Hey, listen, thanks, and we'll be talking to you throughout the course of the year. We're excited to follow you guys.
Likewise, Ryan. I really appreciate it. Thank you.